Start with the name of God, who is gracious, merciful. Quran Topics by Tanvir Kazmi. Chapter number 5, Heaven, English audio number 7. Al-Qalam, Surah, verse 34. The righteous have deserved at their Lord gardens of bliss. Shall we treat the submitters like the criminals? What is wrong with your logic? Do you have another book to uphold? Surah Al-Haqqa, verse 13. When the horn is blown once, the earth and the mountains will be carried off and crushed, utterly crushed. That is the day when the inevitable events will come to pass. The heaven will crack and fall apart. The angels will be all around, and your Lord's dominion will then encompass 8 universes. On that day you will be exposed. Nothing of you can be hidden. As for the one who receives his record with his right hand, he will say, Come, come, read my record. I did believe that I was going to be held accountable. He has deserved a happy life in an exalted paradise. Its fruits are within reach. Eat and drink happily in return for your works in days past. Surah Al-Maraj, verse 8. The day will come when the sky will be like molten rocks. The mountains will be like fluffy wool. No friends will care about his close friends. When they see them, the guilty wish he could give his own children as a ransom to spare him the punishment of that day. Also his spouse and his brother, even his whole tribe that raised him, even all the people on earth, if it would save him. No, it is a flame eager to burn. It calls on those who turn away, those who hoarded and counted. Indeed, the human being is anxious. If touched by adversity, despondent. If blessed by wealth, stingy, except for the worshippers, who always observe their prayers. Part of their money is set aside for the poor and the needy. They believe in the day of judgment. They reverence their Lord's requital. Their Lord's requital is not taken for granted. They keep their chastity. They have relationships only with their spouses or what is legally theirs. Anyone who transgresses these limits a sinner, and the believers keep their word. They are trustworthy. Their testimony is truthful. They consistently observe their prayers on time. They have deserved a position of honor in paradise. Al-Mudaththir Surah, verse 38. Every self is trapped by its own sins, except for those on the right. While in paradise they will ask about the guilty, What brought you to this punishment? They will say, We did not observe the prayers. We did not feed the poor. We blundered with the blunderers, and we disbelieved in the day of judgment, until certainty came to us now. Surah Al-Qiyamah, verse 1. I swear by the day of resurrection, and I swear by the blaming soul. Does the human being think that we will not reconstruct his bones? Yes, indeed. We are able to reconstruct his fingertips. But the human being tends to believe only what he sees in front of him. He doubts the day of resurrection. Once the vision is sharpened, the moon is eclipsed, and the sun and the moon crash into one another. The human being will say on that day, Where is the escape? Absolutely, there is no escape to your Lord. On that day is the final destiny. The human being will be informed on that day of everything he did to advance himself and everything he did to regress himself. The human being will be his own judge. No excuses will be accepted. Do not move your tongue to hurry it. It is we who will collect into Quran. Once we recite it, You shall follow such Quran, then it is we who will explain it. Indeed, you love this fleeting life, while disregarding the hereafter. Some faces on that day will be happy looking at their Lord. Al Mursalat Surah, verse 41. The righteous will enjoy shade and springs and fruits that they desire. Eat and drink happily in return of your works. We thus reward the virtuous. Surah Al Naba, verse 1. What are they questioning? The great event? That is disputed by them? Indeed, they will find out. Most assuredly, they will find out. Did we not make the earth habitable and the mountains stabilizer? We created you as a mates. We created sleeping so you can rest. We made the night a cover and the day to seek provision. We built above you 7 universes. We created a bright lamp. We sent down from the clouds pouring water to produce with it grains and plants and various orchards. The day of decision is appointed, the day the horn is blown, and you come in throngs. The heaven will be opened like gates, the mountain will be removed as if they were a mirage. Surah Al Naba, verse 31. The righteous have deserved a reward, orchards and grapes, magnificent spouses, delicious drinks. They will never hear in it any nonsense or lies. A reward from your Lord, a generous reward, Lord of the heavens and the earth, and everything between them, the most gracious. No one can abrogate his decisions. The day will come when the Spirit and the angel will stand in a row. None will speak except those permitted by the most gracious, and they will utter only what is right. Such is the inevitable day. Whoever will, let him take refuge in his Lord. Surah Al-Nazarat, verse 1. The angels who snatch forcibly and those who gently take the soul of believers joyfully, and those floating everywhere, eagerly racing with one another, carry out various commands. The day the quake quakes, followed by the second blow, certain minds will be terrified, their eye will be subdued. They will say, we have been recreated from the grave. How did this happen after we had turned into rotten bones? They had said, this is an impossible recurrence. All it takes is one nudge, whereupon they get up. Surah Al-Nazarat, verse 34. Then when the great blow comes, that is the day when the human will remember everything he did. Hell will be brought into existence. As for the one who transgressed, who was preoccupied with this life, hell will be the living. As for the one who reverenced the majesty of his Lord and enjoined itself from sinful lusts, paradise will be living. They will ask you about the hour when it will take place. It is not you, O Muhammad, who is destined to announce this time. Your Lord decides his fate. Your mission is to warn those who expect it. The day they see it, they will feel as if they lasted one evening or half a day. Surah Abasa, verse 24. Let the human consider his food. We pour the water generously. Then we slip the soil open. We grow in it grains, grapes and pasture, olives and palms, a variety of orchards, fruits and vegetables to provide life support for you and your animals. Then when the blow comes to pass, that's the day when one flees from his brother, from his mother and father, from his spouse and children. Each one of them on that day worries about his own destiny. Some faces on that day will be happy, laughing, and joyful.